Morning everybody. We're here in front of Wandsworth Council. What's going on here, young man?
We are holding Wandsworth Council to account. They declared a climate emergency 2 years ago and they've done very little to act on it.
Right.
So we're here from Wandsworth XR to, we've started a big campaign today, and this is part of our campaign. We're bringing our demands to the council.
Looks like you're going to make some noise.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
So this is Wandsworth Extinction Rebellion. All nicely social distant, with 4 demands. They're calling out Wandsworth Council for huge failures. Since declaring a climate emergency 2 years ago, we still have chronic air pollution in this borough. That's actually illegal, breaking illegal limits that they haven't done anything about, caused by hydrocarbon vehicles. Also, they've been chopping down trees relentlessly. Most recently with Stanley Estates, 130 plus trees getting chopped down. It was a big battle to save just one poplar tree, and Wandsworth had hired private security and it all got pretty nasty. So we want them to stop chopping trees down.
We'll have some speakers that will do a little bit of chanting first. Wake up!
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 I think there still might be a bit of sleep.
Wake up!
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 So, Wandsworth Council declared a climate emergency 2 years ago, is that right?
Yes!
Have they acted on the climate emergency?
No!
So what are we here to do?
Wake
Great. So we've got a couple of speakers to talk about our demands today, and I think Pat, with the magic envelope over there, is going to be the first to say a few words.
Okay. Shall I come up here? Ready? Do it from here? Okay. Let's do it from here. Hi. Hi everybody. I'm going to take my mask off actually. Good morning everyone. Thank you to everyone who's come here today for the launch of the Wake Up Wandsworth campaign. My name is Pat Squires and I'm a member of XR Wandsworth. Now, I'm not usually the kind of person that you'd consider to be what Boris Johnson described as a uncooperative crusty. I'm a retired deputy principal. I worked 40 years in education. I'm quite bookish. I like to sit quietly in a library reading a book, and I'm actually quite risk averse. But actually, I'm about to be becoming involved in breaking the rules because the climate emergency frankly frightens me to death. So we're here today, I'm here today taking action as part of this campaign. So welcome to everyone who's joined us, and welcome to those who are joining us through live streaming, and also to Wandsworth councillors who hopefully will be seeing this later on through the magic of YouTube. So we are here to say that we're asking, no actually we're demanding that Wandsworth Council take action on the climate and ecological emergency. And it takes that action on behalf of the residents in the borough. So what are those 4 areas? The 4 areas where we're making demands are reducing air pollution to within legal limits, to stop the destruction of mature trees and green spaces, so protect our green spaces, to collect food waste rather than incinerating it, which, you know, seems insane, doesn't it? And complete divestment of the pension fund from fossil fuels. This morning we've written to every councillor and we've set out our 4 demands, our areas of demands to them. Now, I'm sure that Wandsworth Council will actually say, yeah, well, actually, yes, of course. We're actually doing an awful lot. We're making progress. We've declared that we want to be London's greenest borough, and we put that in Brightside, our magazine, so it must be true. We've declared a climate emergency in 2019. We've got a 10-year strategy. We've got targets. We're giving advice to individuals and to businesses about the things that they can do to help. But what we're saying is, wake up Wandsworth, it's time for you to take action, it's time for you to make some progress towards those targets. What about being brave and taking action now before it's too late? So let's look at air pollution, which is one of our 4 areas, for example. We know that the health of children, of older people, people of colour, people on low incomes are disproportionately impacted by air pollution. It's a social justice issue. How long is it going to be before Wandsworth joins Lewisham, where 9-year-old Ella, where the coroner said that air pollution contributed to her early death? How long is it going to be before Wandsworth joins Lewisham in that shameful, shameful declaration? Of the 10 monitoring sites in London that have levels of nitrogen dioxide above the legal thresholds, 4 of them are in Wandsworth. 4 of them. One of them is out here, actually, you know, just on Wandsworth Council's doorstep. So we're now breathing in illegal levels of pollution. So Wandsworth Council could literally breathe more easily if it actually stepped up to the plate and took action. And we're saying that we want air pollution levels to be within WHO's safe limits by May 2022. Because if you're not going to take action now, when? You can't keep on kicking this down the road. So air pollution, that's just one of the 4 areas where we're making our demands. I urge you and everyone to join us in holding Wandsworth's feet to the fire of our burning planet and join us in the Wake Up Wandsworth campaign. So we'll give another shout out, Wake Up Wandsworth. Wake up Wandsworth! Wake up Wandsworth!
Wake up
Wandsworth!
Thank you everybody. See you on the campaign trail. I'm going to pass over to Flo, who's going to say a few words about 2 more of our campaign areas.
Okay, so as Pat says, I'm Flo. Just quickly about me. I have grown up in Wandsworth. I'm currently studying for my A-levels, and like Pat, I don't make a habit of breaking the rules, but there's nothing like a bit of governmental failure and greenwashing to bring out your civil disobedience side. So that's why I'm here, because there is no other option really at this point. So Pat's told you what we're doing, that we've identified 4 key areas for our demands. She's given you a bit of detail about air pollution, so I'll just roll straight on with green spaces and then food waste. So we know that green spaces are important, we know that mature trees are important, Wandsworth Borough Council knows this. We need them for our mental health, we need them for biodiversity, we need them to help mitigate air pollution, which, as we know from Pat, is a huge issue in Wandsworth. That really, like, the list goes on. You could not have more evidence for the importance of green spaces, especially in urban areas. But in Wandsworth, this is constantly coming second to various building projects. So, for example, we're going to lose at least 124 mature trees in the redevelopment of York Road and Winstanley Estates. And we say this is just never, ever necessary. There's always another way, and no longer can we accept a loss of green space and trees for the sake of building projects, even important ones that provide affordable housing. So on the green spaces front, we're here today to demand to Wandsworth Council that they firstly suspend immediately and revise all plans that involve tree felling or the loss of green space, and that they embed this in any future planning permission applications so that we don't lose any more in future, and that they hold meetings in every ward of the borough by the end of this year to talk to residents and locals and find out about opportunities where green spaces can be maximised or created in local areas so that we can build on what we have for the future as well. So that is green spaces. And now to food waste. So in Wandsworth we don't have a separate collection for food waste. All our waste just gets taken up together, shipped to the Belvedere incinerator and burned, which might not sound that significant until you hear that 43% of all of our waste in Wandsworth is food waste. And so in concrete terms, that looks like about 30,000 tonnes of food waste in this year. And when that's all burnt, that means 14,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide, which how can Wandsworth Council even bandy about aspirations like becoming the greenest borough if it's still employing this ridiculous practice? Were Wandsworth Council to investigate composting, which is a carbon negative solution, carbon would be returned to the soil where it belongs. And so our demands on the food waste front are that Wandsworth Council introduce food waste collection pilots by summer of this year, and that they use those pilots to roll out the scheme across the borough by the 5th of May 2022, and also that by September of this year all council-run facilities have on-site food waste collection facilities. And these demands are well researched. We have a full document which is well referenced, and they're completely achievable. Wandsworth Council will likely, if they do respond, will likely tell us that we're being ridiculous. But actually, these demands are merely what's necessary, and they wouldn't even be that difficult if Wandsworth Council were acting as if we're in a climate emergency. So yeah, now I'm going to hand over to Joe, who's going to talk about divestment.
Thanks very much, Flo, and thanks to everyone who's put this campaign together. This is just the start. It's going to go on for a long time until we get Wandsworth Council to take the action that's needed. So yeah, I wanted to talk about divestment today. Wandsworth Council has over £100 million invested in dirty fossil fuels, and their own figures show that in the last 4 years they've lost £10 million due to their failure to divest. And I would say that divestment is a rare area where it's actually very easy for councils to do the right thing, and in doing so they can also save a lot of money. Like, the fossil fuel stocks have done really badly in the past 5 years, but they're probably going to do really worse in the future, and the reason for that is there is no future for fossil fuels. Either the human race is going to burn more and more fossil fuels, and then we're going to have some kind of civilizational collapse, or we're going to see sense and wind these companies down. Governments are going to stop them from operating. So, you know, if I was an investor, fossil fuels would absolutely be the last place that I put my money, but unfortunately, as a resident of Wandsworth, the pension funds of Wandsworth pensioners are tied up in fossil fuels, and they're doing really badly. So it's a simple demand. We also have Shell based here in South London. Just wanted to speak about Shell for a minute. Shell were implicated in the murder of 9 activists in the Niger Delta. These were people who were objecting to the destruction that Shell had wreaked in the Niger Delta. And once again, I would say, you know, why? I think in the future we'll look back and think, why did any respectable organisation like Wandsworth Council have money invested in Shell in 2021? It just seems absolutely insane to me. Wandsworth Council have made some moves towards divestment, but as usual, it's too slow, it's too fluffy, and it's really simple. They just need to sell all their fossil fuel shares now. I'm here as a parent of a 5-year-old. You know, I moved to Wandsworth Council around 2 years ago now, and I was really excited when not long after that, after a lot of pressure from residents, Wandsworth Council declared a climate emergency. But I'm sorry to say they've done very little of substance since then. And you know, for me, declaring a climate emergency should mean that the absolute focus of everyone in the borough is based around getting our emissions to zero and protecting our nature and biodiversity. The kind of efforts we need are the kind of efforts that that this country had in World War II. You know, we need the whole of society to come together and work on this in every respect. So what we're planning to do in Extinction Rebellion Wandsworth is keep up the pressure. We're going to be organising a number of direct actions in all 4 of these areas until Wandsworth Council take the action that's needed. And then ahead of the next election, we're going to be reaching out to every household in the borough, telling them what Wandsworth Council have and haven't done, giving them a little progress update ahead of the next election. So yeah, I hope you'll keep campaigning with us, and our message to Wandsworth Council: it's time to take action. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Joe.
just to follow on what Joe was saying about Shell, there were a number of rebels arrested for protesting against Shell, and they are in court, Southwark Court, Crown Court, next Monday morning. So it'd be good if any of us are free to go along and support that. So, wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Okay, so we have an envelope with demands, which we need to hand in somewhere. Very interesting. This is our town hall of the people. We can't get in. The doors are locked against us. It's like a fortress, isn't it? So, shall we try and find somewhere we can hand in? Hello, you're not part of the council, are you? No? Should we go over here?
Nail it to the door.
Knock on the door.
So we can, that's a good idea. See if they'll open up.
There you go.
There's no one in. No. They live very busy lives. These councillors, very busy.
They're too busy reading their emails. They got before.
Hiding.
Yes, so they've all been sent emails this morning, haven't they?
There's a guy there.
About our demands. Over there? Or should we give it over to security at the gate? Shall we go? Come on. Go over to security? No. No. Okay, here we are.
Barney, there's a man inside your door there.
Oh, look.
Oh.
Marvellous. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What's your name? Josh. Can you make sure that the you give that to the chief executive? Yeah. Thank you, Josh. There you go. Yeah, good man, Josh. So is there anything else you want to say to Wandsworth Council?
We just want you to act on the climate emergency. That's
Yeah.
all we want you to do. It's not like it's your climate emergency, you've called it. So you've called it an emergency. So you need to behave like it's an emergency and act like it's an emergency.
Absolutely. Can we get a bit more wake up, Wandsworth?
Wake up!
Wake up, Wandsworth!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up! Wandsworth! Wake up!
Wandsworth! Wake up! Wake up!
Wandsworth!
Wake up!
Wandsworth!
There you go.
Beautiful.
There we go. Hopefully they'll be able to see that. Hey!
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
So, as you've heard, 2 years ago, Wandsworth Council declared a climate emergency. And since then, they've done nothing to reduce air pollution, nothing to protect our green spaces, and they've continued to invest our money in fossil fuels. This from a council that wants to be the greenest borough in London and carbon neutral by 2030. With this small act of defiance, I redeclare that we are in open rebellion against Wandsworth Council.
There you go. So, in case you're just joining us, we're in outside Wandsworth Council.
Okay, well, should we chant as we leave the buildings?
Where a very strong message is being sent by Wandsworth Extinction Rebellion. that the inaction of Wandsworth Council is totally unacceptable. We are in an ecological and climate emergency, and they're doing pretty much, they say they're doing stuff, you know, about it. They've had a couple of meetings and done a couple of, you know, public PR stunts, but realistically they're not taking the drastic action that's actually required. And these 4 demands are quite simple, something they could actually act on right now. So yeah, so if you're watching this, please share. If you're not part of Extinction Rebellion Wandsworth, you know, get involved. Have a look at our website. Come to some of our meetings. Form your own opinion about the climate emergency. Learn about the failings of this council and councils up and down across the country. And don't be a bystander. And please get involved. Thank you.